Let me get my fat out of the way. I know it's hard to.
This shirt. So this shirt used to be like a XXL, and then I got so small that I had it taken in. But now it's too short on the chest because my chest has gotten bigger. So you can actually see where like the lines come in.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Damn, why did I take that in?
But not
so much.
A little bit.
It's like you need it bigger here, but I want it tighter here. I hate. And
I'm
I need the length.
I'm getting to that point now.
That's
too,
my
where
lifestyle.
Like buttons aren't working now.
Dude, so I can do a certain cut XL, but then like double XL. This is a 1XLT, but as long as it's an LT, then I'm golden.
Right.
But if it's not an LT, I'm fucking.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, I hate it.
Right. And that's the show.
Hope you enjoyed it. It's called Fat Talk.
All right, welcome to another edition of The Calling. It's Jay Rye, and today I'm joined by my friend Joe Grande.
I'm just excited you called me a friend. I don't know what else to say right now. You know what? My day's complete. I'm out of here.
It's really awkward because we just finished filming your show,
and
you're like giving me this praise, so now it's like I'm fucking obligated to say nice things.
Well, he's my friend. He doesn't owe me money anymore. He came to collect. I paid him. We're good.
Yeah, right. Anyway, this is The Calling. So again, I meet with people and talk about the things that they're super passionate about, things that call them. And I invited Joe because Joe and I have known each other for quite some time. We've worked together for part of that time, and I just know that Joe has this calling to entertain people. Like you can't be with Joe for 60 seconds and not be bowled over with his personality and his wit, and he's so fucking quick and funny. And so, welcome.
Well, thank you. I just love hearing the praise. Thank you for the nice words.
Yeah.
It's all out of your mouth.
I mean, you've got 15 minutes to prove me wrong now, so no pressure. But you worked in radio before we met, and then we worked together in radio for some time. Where do you feel like you got that bug for being like such, like a big personality?
I think the big personality is just embedded in me. It wasn't something that radio gave me, because growing up, I was always big personality, from elementary school to being the third grader that played with the fifth graders in the softball game against the teachers, to fifth grade, school leader of whatever, to sixth grade president, to eighth grade ASB president, to freshman class president, to senior year ASB president, captain of the football team, baseball team, rugby team. So it wasn't like, I grew this personality.
Right.
Like I was always that, come on guys, let's do this.
But if you go back from, say, even third grade, are there doses of that person in your mom or your dad or your uncle?
Totally. It's definitely, Joe is a bit of Helen and a bit of Richard, but I look more like my mother. And my dad was very quick wit, and I'll never forget growing up as a kid going, God damn it, mijo, your mouth's gonna get you in trouble one fucking day. You better shut your mouth.
And boy, did that
was he right?
True.
I wish he was alive that I could prove him right because he wasn't alive when I went to jail. Or was he? No, I think he was alive when I went to jail. Yeah, he was. And I was like, well, Dad, you're right. My mouth got me in trouble. Sure enough, got me in the pinta. But, it was them. That it was definitely the personality. I remember a story when I think about this, and you'll laugh. When my mom and Dad were at the grocery store. Yeah, no. My dad goes,
that's not funny.
Oh, Helen, smell this cilantro. It's so fresh and so good. And she goes, oh, really? Let me see. She goes, and he squirts her with the hose. And I remember
this portion of the program is brought to you by Emphysema Tabs. Emphysema Tabs.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Sorry, I can't laugh. Let me smoke another cigar. But that personality was what I grew up with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And, my dad getting pants by his buddy in the front room and him just sitting there like, what?
Right. Oh, well.
Like, what's the big deal? As you've seen me doing that many of times to myself. So, I look at, which is
I don't
funny, I've
think
never
the
been asked
statute of
that.
limitations is up on that. So
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. You could never work in a corporate environment like that with some of
God,
some
it's
of
hard.
the shit that you came up with. So how do you? Okay, so like you go from working in a radio and an entertainment space, right, where your personality is nurtured, right, where you are celebrated for your outlandish behaviors and your big personality and stuff like that. Like, how do you make that transition to you're used to being like on the radio, right, daily and having this outlet, and then like now you have a different career, but like that's still in you. Like how do you like where are your outlets now? Like where does this come out now?
Well, I constantly make fun of people.
I
And
know I get
I
texts
will
in the
do.
middle of the night, and I'm like, what is
I
it?
will do random things, and the funnier part about that is I pointed out to even my daughter and other people. I will do and say something very quick, which even somebody at Trader Joe's, for God's sakes. And if no one's around me that got it, I got it.
Right,
And if the most person that's entertained is me,
right,
sometimes audience of one is good enough for me to be like, oh, that was funny, I still got it. Or,
right.
my kids, they're not really old enough yet to hear the crazy things and my innuendos and the punches that I give to people.
Right.
But of course, around the office here, I will do things. I had a guy that made fun of me recently. Oh, Joe, you were fat. They're just bashing me a little bit. I go, okay, keep it up. Keep it up.
Right.
And I made a poster about him. And so,
Is that
that's the poster. And I put him on a poster of the Three Stooges. I crossed out the three. I put four,
right.
and I put a picture that where he doesn't look. And he's been on a diet ever since then.
That's the wrong picture because like that is not a flattering picture.
Exactly, and he doesn't.
Fixed.
Oh, he was like, that's the best thing you could ever did for me, Joe, because I went on a diet ever since then. And the best part about it is I didn't tell him.
You're awful. You sit around the office and you do that to
I mean, when somebody needs to be made fun of, I'm the one to do. Or also, I do the occasional, hide behind the door and scare somebody, and just fun, silly office antics. Yeah. But I'm not doing the walk around the office with my shirt off.
How does your
shorts tight?
How does your wife like enjoy that? Like was that high personality Joe like what got her to fall in love with you, or like how
funny, Jay, because when I first met her, I was in Burbank. She worked at a clinic in Burbank. She was my doctor. I was her first patient. She called to work on my ankle.
Okay.
She called me back and she goes, so what do you do for a living? And I looked at her. Mind you, before I talked to her, at that time, I'm doing a sports afternoon talk show. I'm working with Seacrest, and everybody in the office knew who I was.
Yeah.
And they're like, Joe Grande, talking to the owner. Everybody's coming in to me. She pulled me back and she goes, so what do you do? I'm like, you don't know what I do? Like, borderline arrogant, like an idiot. But not being arrogant.
Words, regular Joe.
Yeah. And she goes, I have no idea who you are or what you do. I was like, that's awesome. Where are you from? She's like, Kansas. I'm like, that's beautiful. That's so cool.
God.
So you have no idea who I am. That's great. Blah, blah, blah. So I ended up telling her. But my point is she had no idea, so I didn't have a chance to. Now I just went from big personality to, oh, you're my doctor. Okay, let me just tell you everything that's going on with my ankle and how can we get this better.
Right.
To weeks of working on me as she was my PT, doing things, and she really helped me. To then my personality grew and grew. At the time, she had a boyfriend. I was married at the time to the girl that you introduced me to at the office. Thanks a lot, asshole. That didn't work too well. But anyhow.
That's not what happened.
It's not at all what happened, but we did all work together. But I was going through the divorce and...
Don't open that subject.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going through the divorce, so we were just cool with each other. And it wasn't until she ended up finding her boyfriend cheating on her from MySpace at the time. And then she called
What's MySpace?
MySpace, social media. You're not that old now. You don't know. You remember MySpace?
Oh, nobody knows what that is.
Exactly. Facebook, MySpace.
Right. Okay, Facebook. Right.
Yeah, exactly. The first Facebook that was out there before before Facebook came out. And then she called me, and I went and took her out to dinner, and then that's when the personality started coming out and all the fun stuff.
Okay.
Well, who are we kidding? Okay. The personality came out because I went and took her to Jennifer Lopez's restaurant, called them over there, and hey, it's Joe Grande for Power 106. Hook me up at the table, blah, blah, blah. and
Okay.
kind of showboating,
Right.
showing
Well,
a few
I mean,
strings.
like, hey, it's a competitive world. You gotta,
You got to show, you got to pull your cards.
play your cards.
Yeah,
Play your cards. Women don't like the timid.
but she liked, I say liked past tense, the big personality and gets it. But of course, when I go home, it's yes, babe, no, babe, or okay, I mean, I get you're smoking a cigar again. Get out of go to the front yard. I'm in the backyard in the corner. That's not far enough. I gotta now be in the front yard, in the damn near the neighbor's house to
Well,
smoke a cigar in my own freaking house. So the big personality's like, yes, babe.
Well, you got to be careful because in your community, you could get
Thank
the
God they all know
cops
who I
called
am. Well,
on
they
you.
all know who I am in my name. I
Jeez.
stand out like a sore thumb.
Oh, so when you think about like again, like your huge drive of like just entertaining people, like what, like tell me like something that was like one of your favorite bits or one of your favorite like fall down funny moments.
Oh, when you say favorite, there's just so many random good ones that come to mind, and
This is called
there's
stalling because he's looking at his phone as
well,
opposed to paying
yeah,
attention. To the
my
interview.
wife's texting me. I got to fill out these documents, but there's different levels of good stunts and bits in my book.
Yeah.
There's ones that have gotten me in trouble.
Yeah.
There's ones that have hurt people, and then they both are funny. But then there's like that just oh my God, that was crazy that you had them do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's the different
Well, give me one.
levels. So one of the
If
craziest
no, if
ones.
no one knows, like your wife, if no one knows who you are, right, watching right now, give them one.
One of the craziest ones that I actually went to jail for 49 days for.
This is why we met.
Is I was dressed in an orange jumpsuit. I was handcuffed, and I went knocking on people's doors. And the bit was, how many doors can you knock on before the cops come up?
Right.
So I got to 3 houses.
You sure found out.
Before cops came on me in every direction. And they came at me at gunpoint. And I'm like, hey, guys, I'm on the radio. I'm handcuffed. It's just a joke. And they go, does this gun to your fucking head look like a joke? I'm like, no, it doesn't. Get down to the ground.
That's when you find out that radio doesn't mean shit.
It doesn't matter you're on the air, who you know, what show you're on. It don't matter.
Let me tell you the first time I learned that. I was working at KISS FM in Los Angeles.
Mhm.
I just was a baby. I just was a van driver, right? Just starting. Very beginning of working in radio. And I was working an event in the Westwood area, right, which is a very congested, area. I'm there with the KISS FM Hummer, and we're doing an appearance at CVS, and
Right.
somebody is going to come and sign autographs, one of our jocks, right? The manager of the store says, "Here, pull it up here so everyone can see it," right? I pull it where he says to pull it, and the police come and they, "What are you doing? Driving on the sidewalk,
Oh, no
endangering
way.
lives." So I got a ticket and that got a tongue lashing of driving on the sidewalk. But the guy was just a kid. I was just listening to what the guy said who ran
Told you what to do.
CVS, right?
Right, yeah.
Right? So that's when I learned radio doesn't mean shit either because I had to pay the ticket.
I remember too doing shit where at the time when I first got in, say like 92, starting early on, and when I first started, I was a bouncer before I got into radio, and so I knew all the cops in the downtown area, right? So I bounced at a downtown club in San Jose, and then I get into radio.
Right.
And so for me, here's a little funny, weird, random story. I pull up in that van like you were doing at CVS, but all the cops know me, and I don't give a shit, and I'm smoking a blunt, and I'm hitting the curb, and I'm just like, and all the cops look at me, and they turn around and walk the other way because they're like, fucking Joe. But I was like, dude, I've done so much dirt with you cops, you guys ain't gonna do shit to me.
Gotta love it.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
It was like an extreme different scenario at the first stages of early radio for me. Bless you.
Thank you.
So when you say you didn't learn that, I mean, it took me doing a crazy street stunt elsewhere, but when I was driving the vans and promotions, I was able to get away with murder.
Well, that probably also was why you didn't take it serious, right? It probably added to you having no line,
Yeah.
because you already were getting away with things that regular people weren't, right? So like you were, I mean, and again, like going way back, like you partied pretty hard. So
I had no emotions. It didn't
you
matter. I'd go
weren't
hard. Yeah.
known for holding any line.
Yeah.
So
it wouldn't matter what it. Let's do it. And as crazy as it sounds to do, let's do it.
Right.
From as crazy as let's kiss two guys back in the day. I'll kiss them. Whatever. To let's break a window. Let's break a window. To let's go run naked down the street. Let's.
You know what the funniest part about that is that
it's all true.
Well, that's true, but also you will still talk about the kissing. You kissed the guy for free, and the guy who got an actual prize for it won't talk about it.
Because exactly. All in the name of entertainment.
You did it just because it was funny.
Fuzzy, you can never tell people that we kissed. Oh, you don't tell them. I tell them. My bad. It is what it is. I don't know. I like to entertain. I don't look at it like, I look at things that I've done and even still do as entertainment. And I don't look at it as when it's being mean or rude. And if I'm being mean to you at the time for entertaining, sometimes, it's in the name of entertainment. I do it in a good heart. I'm not trying to make you cry. Well, some people.
Usually.
But, yeah.
Usually.
And if they do.
But I mean, none of us can hold up to the microscope of absolutely saying everything's black and white. But
yeah.
No, I agree with that, generally speaking. When was a time that like you knew that you were different? Meaning like you knew that your talent got to somebody, made somebody laugh. Like when is that time that you're like, I've got something here?
It's a funny question, Jake, because no one's ever asked me something like that. And it's taken me back to junior college at San Jose City College. And I was taking a class on, so I forget what it was. But I remember the teacher, she pulled me aside. And she goes, you really have a special gift. And, you're really funny and you're really blah, blah, blah. So I was like, I don't know why. I never even mentioned this story to everybody in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funnier. But when you say when's the first time, because at that moment I was like, I was like 20 years old maybe, and going, yeah, I've always felt good about myself. I always felt like I can entertain. I was a school president. I was, captain of the fucking football team at San Jose City College when I was playing there. Right. So I always felt, I don't know if I felt it, I just did it. I don't think I felt it, I just did it.
Okay.
I didn't do it to feel it. You know what I'm saying? And nobody ever made me feel like, oh, this is it. I just did it. And my coaches, you're a great leader, you're a great lineman. No, never even had that pat on the back. Way to get everybody together. So no, I never got that feeling until, like I would say, my sophomore year at San Jose City College, this lady teacher pulled me aside and said that to me. Mm-hmm. And then I felt like, oh, this is great. I am funny. I am entertaining. And then, it was 2 years after that I started doing radio. Mm-hmm. Because I started my senior year at San Jose State. And then when I started doing that big moment for entertainment and radio was on Cinco de Mayo, 1994. Mm. And we're at a Crazy Benny's car show. I don't know why I'm remembering these things.
Okay.
It's so weird right now. At a stereo place, called Crazy Benny's. And it was called Cinco de Mayo. Mm-hmm. A big tub of mayo that we had prizes in the mayo.
Yeah.
And I was the intern that set up everything, this and that.
And do you remember the Super Bowl of nachos?
Of course I do.
Anyway,
same thing. But yeah. It was Cinco de Mayo.
Right.
And the prize were underneath. You had to dunk your head in to get the prize. Who's going to do it? The guy on the air, I'm just a promotion guy there. And they're like, who's going to do it? And I go, let me show you guys how to do it. And I'll never forget the promotion director was there. All the right people were there. Yeah. And I went, let me show you guys how you do it, my big fan. Boom! I put my head in the mayo. I come out with, this is how you do the prize. How you win. Now go get it. Right. I put it back in. And that's how you do it. Okay, cool. And I clean myself up after.
Obviously, BC before COVID, when people would actually put their face in the same.
And do fun things like that, right? Our fun things like that are just gross and whatever.
Right.
So I did that. And that's when the promotions director pulled me aside afterwards and was like, dude, you're awesome. You're crazy. You're just down to entertain.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, well, that's what we're here to do, right? We're like the guys on the radio that, let's entertain people.
So you can pinpoint, right, that teacher, right, that made a difference, right? Can you you don't have to name names, but have you seen something similar of you in someone else? You know, like, and not that it's like an obligation to pay it forward or something, but like, do you see like that sparkle sometimes in other people? Like, do you recognize it more because you're so in tune with entertaining?
Well, I can definitely see when somebody has what we like to call in the business it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And if you don't know what it is, then you don't have it, unfortunately. But if you do know what it is,
This is why you're not mentoring anybody, because you're a dick.
but maybe you can work on it.
You don't have it.
But you know what I mean, though, Jason.
I know exactly what you mean.
But you're asking me, but I'm not trying to attack anybody. I'm just saying
that way.
Well, but you would if we weren't on this fucking recording right now.
Who's recording?
So my point is, when I
this
do
is
see
new J. Ryan. I don't know what you're talking about.
When I do see it in people, and I have, and we do this show. I do a show called Cannabis Talk 101 with these guys.
Yes.
When I first met them, this is exactly the last time it's happened, actually. And I seen what they were doing. I was like, "You guys have it. You just need some tweaking.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to do this, do that, do that." And I was like, "But resting on your laurels is going to be this good, but you guys have it enough to get this good." And I could see it in your walk, talk, your knowledge.
Yeah.
But let's just figure it out. And sure enough, they've worked with me. And believe me, like you heard the story earlier today, these guys felt what I was saying, because I literally was transparent like that, saying, "Dude, I see this in you guys.
Right.
I see that what you have, and I can make this better." So when you do see that in somebody, it's the best.
If you had the opportunity right now, and again, nothing of like dislike towards what you're doing right now or where you've worked in the past, but if you had the opportunity right now to join a show that we know that's already in progress, like what show could you see yourself on that you would just like add to the party with your personality?
I mean, I feel like my character, especially with being a part of a team, because people who want to be that and do that, they need to know their roles. And I feel like that's what I know when I join a team. I know I'm not your ace. You got your ace if you're a show. I'm coming in to support the ace. Mm-hmm. And I know that. So a lot of people don't. That, I want to do this. Like, you want to be this person or one of these people? We all can get recognized if this person excels. We all climb. When I think of shows, I think of who I can mesh with, who this person is, right? Mm-hmm. So, because I could add this, I could add that, we could bounce back off each other. In my experience, I've worked with the show called The Doghouse with Elvis and JV, very well-known guys from the Bay Area, and they went to New York, and then I've worked with Big Boy, and I've worked with Ryan Seacrest. And of those three shows that I've been a part of with big talents, and if I think of any other show, it's kind of hard for me to say, I could be on Stern's show. Like, I don't feel like I could, actually.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel Stern and I would mesh well. Mm-hmm. It's not there. Could it be? I don't know. I don't feel it. I don't even think it is there. You know what I mean? Do I think I could because I know how I am? I feel like I can mesh with anyone.
Right.
I know I could get along with you, but I don't know if he would get along with me. So when you ask me this question, it's kind of a... Right. I want to go for the big dog, but...
Well, this is how you know, too, that there's no prep in this, because... You didn't know the question was coming.
Exactly. Yeah. But
you're thinking on the fly.
And I'm talking it out with you, going, right. When I think of
I have the correct answer. I do, but go ahead.
It's right here.
No. But go, finish your thought, and then I'm going to tell you the correct answer.
I really believe the correct answer is working with Big Boy.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's hard because, like we did that, and so I'm not going to negate that answer, right? But I will say this. Jimmy Kimmel, for 15 years or something to that effect, has his security guard that does nothing. But he goes to him all the time, but he's like, and no offense, I forgot his name, but like, no offense.
Guillermo.
Okay. If you say so. But in my eyes, he's too forgettable. Just because he's the security guy, but like I can't like name a really funny bit because he's just so low key. I think that I think you could. I think that you could like breathe life into that role.
As
and
you
make
say
it so
that,
much
you
better.
know, I take. I mean, I hate to say this because it's like you asked me. I was thinking radio,
That's okay.
strictly radio.
It's okay.
I hear. You ready for this one?
Mm.
My wife Chanel has constantly said, "Who do you know over there? You should be doing this. You should be doing that." Just from the stuff she's heard about me and
Yeah.
doing. And then when I'm watching it, going, "Oh, that's great. I wish you would have did this." Like I'm watching it, editing the fucking piece where they're doing it,
Right.
and editing the. Why don't you do this? Why didn't you go this way with it? And I'm like. She's like, wouldn't you be great with Jimmy Kimmel? And I'm like, oh, yes. So the funnier part is, Jay, I swear to God, I've always thought that.
Yeah.
Always
No,
thought
I mean,
that.
it's I mean, whatever, whether it happens or not, like it's
Well,
it's a small town, so it's like everyone knows everyone somehow, some way, and even there's people there that we know for sure. Yeah.
and I've always thought about it.
Yeah.
Because, like, the bits that they've done, I feel like are things that I've done in the past
Yeah.
and things that I could execute even better.
Right.
And I think some of them are good. But, I mean, a lot of the things that I've done have been redone. And I don't know. I'll be the one to say it. I just don't feel like they've been done as good as I can do them. From all standpoints, from all stations and
Right.
all people.
Right.
Where I feel like, okay, that was good. But and I feel like it comes from my witty, clever, early radio where
Yeah.
there was theater of the mind. And I understood that theater
We
of
had
the
to work
mind
so
better.
much harder.
We did.
We had to work so much harder before,
Everything else is out there.
YouTube and Instagram and all of that.
And all
stuff.
these cats that are doing things that are just like, I feel like I know how to even add a little bit more
Right.
to add these extra punches to where even if you're watching it from the kitchen working, you're like, oh my God, what did he just say? What is he doing?
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to paint
And-
pictures more.
Right.
And I feel like that's not done.
And I believe you because you have a big ego, yes, but I don't think you're wrong because you won't say, like you just said, like I can't do stern. You don't just say you can do anything, right?
Yeah,
So
I'm not
just
gonna-
like no, I think I
Yeah, I'm not going to claim that one or
Yeah.
claim the big. I don't. I mean, I talk a lot of shit, have a big ego, but I back it all up too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Put me to the test.
Right.
Let's pick your person. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's
Yeah.
both execute something and see who laughs more. Pick the
Absolutely.
audience.
Well, like I said on your show, like whatever it is, like I know we'll continue to be friends always, but like I feel like we're gonna do something again. And
I don't know why I feel like doing
but-
this
I
together.
I don't know. I just feel it,
Which is a good feeling.
It's sort of like an ex that you never completely close the door onto.
And it just
because
goes to
it's
show
like-
our personalities because we could be later never, there's people that you've worked with that you never talk to again.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Don't give me that look.
Well, like who? Like name one. Like
Yeah.
let me hear. Are you ready for this? Do you talk to Jimmy Steele still?
Name 5.
Do you talk to Jimmy Steele at all? You worked with this guy hand in hand, so close, so long, taking you to a big level of a show.
Of course, I don't talk to him.
Isn't that
They
funny?
sued us.
I know.
They
Isn't that
tried.
crazy?
They tried to take
my point
away
is how
our,
crazy is- I
our
know.
livelihood,
But
so
how
we could
crazy is
never
that you
work
work
again.
together? I tried to
Did
sue
you know that?
I did not know all that.
The
that
lawsuit literally said they should never be allowed to work on the air again.
But that wasn't Jimmy Steele who did that. That's the company that did that. He was
well,
working
Jimmy
for the company.
Jimmy Steele, after 17 years, wrote me a 5-word email and fired me by
Go
email.
to hell. Oh, what is it?
I mean, hey,
Leave the building, asshole. That's
your services are not needed. 5 words, and I still have that email because it's just
And
like
is
it
it
was
the
just
last
so
contact?
ridiculous. That was it.
all
Yeah,
those
that was-
years.
that was
That's
absolutely
what's
it.
crazy because we left, partied. I left,
Yeah,
but it was still like, okay, bye guys. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go do this other stuff. But it was a little weird at first. But okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Like so it's weird that you say that because some people you can't reshake it.
well, I mean, things were a little funky with you for a little bit. But but there's still like value there, and we still have like more like like interaction and friendship and reputation that was still like worth like salvaging. I mean,
Other people just aren't.
There was no
Yeah, I
there's
agree,
no
don't get me
need
wrong.
for Jimmy. And again, we're not enemies. It doesn't matter, and the audience doesn't even know who we're talking about. But like,
But claim the person that you work with at work. It's the same scenario. Like it's somebody that was a
yeah, like
confidant for years that you worked with hand in hand.
well,
to help.
right, and then it just and then it was severed, and I don't believe in making enemies, but also it's just like I'm also authentic. Like I don't stay in touch with people because I'm still trying to like build a bridge towards something else. It's
And me
like
neither. It's
no,
not like
I
I'm like that
just
with you. It's not
yeah.
like where a guy like me could be like, "Hey Jay, is there anything available over there?
Right.
Hey Jay, hey, I got a new idea. Try this." Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to ever
I
do
put
that.
those on auto delete so that I don't have to read that.
But yeah, but you've never got them from me either. Where I'm like, hey, constantly trying to be like, "Hey dude, oh, well, I just did earlier before we started this. I gave you an idea, but there's a lot of people out there that are trying to just constantly get at
Here he
you.
goes. Here he goes. Anyway, Joe, I appreciate you joining the calling.
It's always great. I love you guys for watching.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. This guy's a great guy.
Tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me online at Joe Grande 52. That's right, JoeGrande 52. And if you're wondering why 52, because yeah, I live in the past. It's called the football number. It's always been my football number, so everything's 52.
Fantastic. Joe Grande, everybody. Thank you for watching the calling. We'll see you next time. Bye. Good shit, brother.